everyone, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where last time we unlocked player housing and got a few new emotes. Specifically, we picked up a few dances, if we can find where they are. Here we go. We picked up the step dance. We picked up the harvest dance. And we picked up the ball dance. Awesome! Whole bunch of new emotes for us, and we now have access to player housing. We're gonna go ahead and start off the week with the minion roulette, as usual. And looks like we're getting the airship. Today we are going to be learning our final magic caster, the Thaumaturge. Before we really get started though, I do want to say one thing real quick. I mentioned this in the previous episode, but not everyone watches the Sunday side questing episodes, so I want to be sure that people have heard. After this week, so after this coming Sunday episode, so episode 112, I'm going to be taking a break. It'll be somewhere from 2 weeks to a month, I'm not sure yet, just long game, need to take regular breaks so I'm not burning myself out on it, and we just did a whole bunch of gathering of classes with not really much story progress, which we're about to get back to story progress, but I do need a break. A break will be good for my mental health, and I've got things I need to take care of in real life anyways, and this does take up a bit of time to do. Anyways, without further ado, let's get started by heading into the Thaumaturge's Guild and speaking to Yayaki. Welcome to the Thaumaturge's Guild. It is fate that has guided your steps here today, friend. Within these hallowed halls, the arts of devastation are taught, primeval magics with which to bring about an enemy's ruin. If you would join our ranks and wield the power of thaumaturgy, I urge you to seize this moment and confide in me your arcane ambitions. I would love to join the Thaumaturge's Guild. Yes, there truly was no other answer, was there? Lean closer now and I shall whisper to you of thaumaturgy's beginnings. The nation of Ul'dah inherited its traditions from the ancient Bellaria, a city founded by the descendants of the first mages. The secrets of these illustrious sorcerers were ultimately entrusted to the priests of the Order of Nald-Thal, who have passed them down from generation to generation ever since. Focused and refined over centuries of use in the Order's funereal rites, the arcane magics of our ancestors eventually emerged as the arts we now know as thaumaturgy. A freezing blizzard to halt corruption, a raging fire to cleanse the corpse, a bolt of lightning to expel the sins of mortal life. The Dweomers employed in the preparation of the dead are equally efficacious when applied to the living. Thus does our guild thrive in the depths of Arzaneth Ossuary, a sanctuary devoted to Thal, the divine arbiter of the afterlife. What say you then, adventurer? If you would plumb the abyssal depths of thaumaturgy, let our learned sages guide your descent. But before you leap into the darkness, you must first prove to our guild masters that you are possessed of the spiritual fortitude necessary to look upon that which waits therein. When you are ready to submit to the judgment of our most eminent mages, say the word. I believe I am ready. Well, adventurer, will you join our guild, or do you presume to ignore the urgings of impatient destiny? I am ready. A wise decision indeed. To prepare for your initiation, I would have you study the volumes of Fundamental Thaumaturgical Principle, all 108 of them. That's a lot, and also a very specific number. Or at least I would if such requirements had not been abolished. Too great a deterrent to fresh novices, they said. I suppose you shall just have to settle for calling upon the collective wisdom of our guildmasters. We have 5, you see, all brothers of the same house. Though they all wield the supreme authority, it is the eldest who provides a singular voice for the guild when one is required. Master Kokabaigo, I believe. Alright then, let's go track down Kokabaigo, one of the 5 guild masters. Oh, there's a lot of them. I get the feeling that the receptionist got it wrong. Not sure why. Who? What? Oh, Thal's teeth, miss. Did your mother never tell you not to startle a thaumaturge? Look at that expectant face, Kokabaigo. This lady is obviously a new applicant for the guild seeking audience with our eldest brother. Oh, Prelate Yayaki. She can recite the 307 verses of the funerary rites for the virtuous fallen, but the simple task of keeping our name straight seems ever beyond her grasp. Bwaha! Well, I, for one, find the constant confusion endlessly entertaining. My apologies, my dear. My merriment was not meant to mock your mistake. It's our sibling Kokobuki with whom you should speak. What's this? What's this? Thal has led to us a new aspirant? Ah, Kokobuki, were you here the entire time? Greetings, child. I am Kokobuki the eldest, and I would venture to say, the wisest of the 5 masters of the Thaumaturge's Guild. It is my solemn duty to furnish our would-be initiates with a succinct understanding of our beloved art. Thus I would have your fullest attention. To wield Thaumaturge is to unleash devastation of the highest magnitude. The lethal force of our spells far exceeds the destructive capability of any other form of arcane manipulation. And he is not kidding. Black Mage which comes out of Thaumaturge at level 30, is the most powerful job in the game in general, but it is also rather difficult to use. It has a reputation, and we'll get to that in due time. Fire, lightning, blizzard, somnolence, the Thaumaturge calls upon an expansive arsenal of offensive incantations to incapacitate and obliterate all manner of adversaries. Open your mind to our sorcerer's teachings, and you too shall soon hold the unparalleled power of our discipline in the palm of your hand. Of course, such power has a price. You must be willing to plunge headfirst into the forbidding chasm of Thaumaturge's secrets, for advancement in this art comes only with the completion of deadly and terrible trials. I ask you now, aspirant, are you prepared to leap into the abyss in pursuit of power unrivaled? I'm willing to try. A confident response. Your name, if you will. Very well, Satoru, let us mark your initiation with 3 eminently practical gifts. My first gift to you shall be an addition to your hunting log, the names of such enemies that will prove suitable to your training as a Thaumaturge. The second and third gifts are the Scepter and Shield, instruments you shall need to focus the destructive force of your will. Did you believe your initiation over? My dear disciple, we have only just begun. Take your new weapons in hand, and I will set you forth upon your first trial. Alright, we got a shield and a scepter to get us started. Also, fun fact, Black Mage, which again is the job that comes out of Thaumaturge, is the main job of the producer of the game, Yoshi P. So that's pretty neat. Okay, where? I probably should not have sorted. Here we go, that fixes that problem. Equip the scepter, get our recommended gear on, and let's create a new gear set. Where are we sorting you into? Thaumaturge will be just above Arcanist. There's so many crafters and gatherers. Why? Why does it have to be? Oh, nope. Seriously, they could really stand to improve this, even if it is only a temporary issue when you set up a new gear set for the very first time. Alright then, got our Thaumaturge up and ready to go. So, what's our... Oh, hold on! We gotta get our UI set up because we've got a gauge already, the elemental gauge. Let me just move that down here. That looks like a good enough spot. And what's our first training mission, Kokobuki? Guildmaster Kokobuki wishes to test the limits of your thaumaturgical aptitude. The scepter well complements the avid desire for destructive power written upon your features. Now we shall complete your initiation with a trial to test the limits of your aptitude for channeling thaumaturgy. Huge hornets, star marmots, and snapping shrews inhabit this land in abundance. Exercise your sorceress might and slay 3 of each of these creatures before returning to my side. So the traditional initial training mission. It's actually going to be interesting setting up the Thaumaturge hotbar because it is actually a bit different from other classes. I mean, it is a magic caster. Alright, as we head out, let's take a look at our actions. We start out with Blizzard, which is a GCD with a cast time of 2.5 seconds. Deals ice damage with a potency of 180 and grants Umbral Ice or removes Astral Fire. This Umbral Ice effect lasts for 15 seconds. What does that mean? Beyond the damage, what does this Umbral Ice and Astral Fire mean? Well, let's get out here and we can start to learn about it. Start off by finding some star marmots. And I believe once we've learned our second ability, it'll start to teach us about... Don't forget, eat food. Gotta eat the food. Yeah, once we've learned our second action, it should start to teach us about Umbral Ice and Astral Fire. There we go. Elemental gauge unlocked even though we already had it. Oh god. Please, game. Hold on. Let me move that. The elemental gauge indicates whether you are under the influence of Astral Fire after a fire spell or Umbral Ice after casting a blizzard spell. While under the influence of Astral Fire, all fire spells will have increased potency but require more MP to cast. While under the influence of Umbral Ice, all ice spells will have reduced cost and you'll have significantly increased MP recovery. Furthermore, when maintaining stacks of Astral Fire or Umbral Ice, a spell of the opposite element can be cast at no cost. Interesting, so we're going to be balancing a fire and ice rotation. Astral Fire and Umbral Ice are special status effects which allow Thaumaturges to continuously deal devastating amounts of damage while still conserving their MP reserves. Casting one of the fire spells gives a Thaumaturge the effect of Astral Fire, which increases the potency and MP cost of further fire spells. At the same time, it lowers the potency and MP cost of blizzard spells, but prevents the natural or spell-assisted gradual restoration of MP. While you are in fire phase, you cannot restore your MP. Conversely, casting one of the blizzard spells gives the Thaumaturge the effect of Umbral Ice, which decreases the MP cost of ice spells while increasing the speed at which MP naturally recovers. At the same time, it lowers the potency and MP cost of fire spells. As the Thaumaturge progresses in level, the number of Umbral Ice and Astral Fire effects which can be stacked at any one time increases. The larger the stack, the more powerful the effect. Learning when to switch between fire and ice is key to being successful in extended battles. So this is a very unique class. Effectively, we have two phases. Fire phase, where we are doing a lot of damage at the cost of no MP recovery, and an ice phase where we're doing less damage in favor of MP restoration. Balancing the two and switching between the two is the key to being a good Thaumaturge or Black Mage. Now we are sufficiently low on MP. Oh, well, we got a level up which restored it, but typically the rotation you want to use is Fire until you're low on MP, then Blizzard until you're full, or nearly full. Of course, it's more complicated than that. There are going to be abilities which make it a bit more interesting than just Fire and then Ice and then Fire and then Ice. But we will get into that with due time. This is a class that can get very complicated, but it has enormous payoff for some of the best damage in the game. Alright, last thing we need to hunt are the Snapping Shrews. And as mentioned, the Astral Fire or Umbral Ice only lasts for about 15 seconds since your last spell. We picked up Fire, which is a GCD, deals fire damage with a potency of 180 compared to the Blizzard's 180, interesting, grants Astral Fire or removes Umbral Ice. So if you have Astral Fire up and you use Blizzard, you don't go directly into Umbral Ice, you go into no status, and then the next time you use Blizzard, you go into Umbral Ice. You need to cast twice in order to fully switch. Alright, there's one Snapping Shrew. There's level 4 for us. And we've picked up Transpose, which I believe I'm going to move there for now, but I'll probably move it around quite a bit later. Transpose swaps Astral Fire with a single Umbral Ice, or Umbral Ice with a single Astral Fire. Basically, it is a free switch. With Transpose, we can skip the no status phase and go directly into the other element. Using Transpose effectively is another great way to be a great Thaumaturge. Now then, with our initial hunting done, let's head on back to the Thaumaturge's Guild, and on the way, we need to fight little ladybugs, cactuars, and syrphid clouds. That'll be Western, Western, and Central. Alright, then where are those Seraphid clouds? Let's go take care of those since we are in the area. Here we go, I spot a Seraphid cloud on the left, which means they're probably going to all be in this area. There's another one. Oh, and yes, because we are a magic caster, you cannot move while casting a spell. In fact, that's going to be the source of the main reason for Black Mage's reputation, because Black Mage is going to have aspects which strongly encourage you not to move at all. Not just because you are trying to cast spells and if you move you lose your spell cast, but there are other abilities on top of that which will encourage you to stay still. Which conflicts with the fact that this game revolves very heavily around area of effect attacks in the later game. In other words, the enemies are going to pressure us to move, doing max damage is going to pressure us to not move. It is an interesting and difficult balance to manage, which has given Black Mage a reputation for simply standing in the AoEs and saying, screw it, I don't need to move, I will take the damage. Now whether you decide that you want to play like that, it depends entirely on you. I don't main Black Mage, I actually don't play Black Mage very much, so I'm not too familiar with if that's actually a good thing to do, or if that's just players being selfish and greedy. But I suppose as we are going to be doing a lot of Black Mage, Thaumaturge, we're going to be going for all the classes. We will find out in due time. Alright then, now with our hunting log done for Central Thanalan, let's finally get back, turn in the quest, and then we can finish off by doing the West Thanalan hunting log. And since we hit level 5, it would also be a good idea to, yes, plenty of new gear. Now we're looking like a proper mage. Not liking the very light colors on these clothes, but it also makes perfect sense to be wearing light colors in Thanalan given how hot it is. Hello there, Kokobuki? You have the satisfied look of a mage who has utterly vanquished her foes. Satora, I formally welcome you into the Brotherhood of Thaumaturges. The purpose of this trial was to gauge your capacity for wielding thaumaturgy, an innate quality, the limits of which are bound by the level of etheric energy flowing through your physical being. Ether, the very stuff of life, exists within all living creatures to a greater or lesser extent. Remember this, for it is the most basic law of arcane manipulation. As your experience grows, so shall your reserves of thaumaturgical endurance. The wellspring of your magical might will also swell in response to moments of extreme terror or duress. When you find yourself seeking greater challenge, when next you crave the thrill of an exquisite fear, that is when you shall know the time has come for you to visit me once more. Alright, we've finished off our level 1 quest, and we are now more than ready to hit our level 5 quest. Okay, Thunder, where am I putting you? I'm going to put you there for now. The third element. I will figure out a good setup for Thaumaturge eventually. There's a lot of different competing abilities, which makes this interesting. Thunder is a GCD, deals lightning damage with a potency of 30, effect, lightning damage over time, 35 potency for 21 seconds. Alright, brain, yes, I know you have the urge to do the calculations for the total amount of potency. This is 275 potency, so not bad. It's a damage over time, of course, so it's always worth casting. Only one Thunder spell-induced damage over time effect per caster can be inflicted upon a single target. So we can't stack our, as usual, we can't stack our dots. But other players can also apply the same dot and it'll be fine. Alright then. Our targets for this area were a cactuar and little ladybugs. That'll be easy and quick. Let's go with thunder. And then we'll start a fire phase. Oh, crap. That was a mistake. I meant to use thunder, not transpose. We'll go with that for now. See how that does. Alright, little ladybugs are down. All that remains are the cactuars. There's one, and we can get 2 and 3 right over here. Damn, that thunder really put in the work for me, didn't it? I barely had to do anything against those last 2 cactuars. But with that, our hunting log is done through level 5. Meaning we are now ready to head on to the level 5 quest. I will see everyone next time for that.